This is the CHRILLCAST. I'm Chris.
And I'm Will.
And I'm Wow.
Love it. All right, guys. All right, so here we go. Today is the Fantastic Friday segment. No,
Fantastic
just
Friday.
making
That's
it
a
up.
new one.
That is new. No, it's a friendly Friday. The whole idea is what video game what zombie video game series would we like to see adapted to the big screen, and vice versa, I suppose. Are there any cool zombie movies that could be adapted to video games? Uh-oh.
Yeah. I mean, like the first example, like it was actually done recently, was from a movie to a game, was World War Z. And I don't think it really follows the movie or the books very much, but I think it's a really good game, and I think the horde mechanic's pretty cool.
Hey, I think Wow's mic is off somehow.
No. Just sign it.
Okay, can you hear me?
Oh yeah.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, I'm having to hit all the on buttons, but yes, I agree with the horde mechanic of World War Z. Was the best feature of it. The first time you see it, first couple times, like, oh, this is gonna be awesome. But like the class building, everything, it was cool for the first couple times, but it just kind of waned on me. It felt like it was trying to be Left 4 Dead, but it just had too much to it for me to just stick to it. But it was fun for a few weeks when I did play it.
Mm-hmm.
So, World War Z being one of the better, newer examples, I would say, of a game adapted from a movie. What would you say the best game adapted from a movie or TV series ever was? I mean, are you big on the Walking Dead series, or do you think that there are better ones?
The Telltale's Walking Dead was a great example of making a story of its own and was one of the best out there. It was really good. The first season was amazing. Season 2 was okay. 3, and then I haven't played season 4 yet, but really good. I think they did a great job with it, but it also spelled the doom for Telltale because they're like, oh, we have to make every game like this now. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it was a double-edged sword on that. But as for games based on movies, I mean, if you played video games through the 2000s, that was like half the video games out there.
That's true.
Xbox, GameCube, PlayStation. Oh my God! Like if you go to Blockbuster or Hollywood Video, you'd be like, "Oh, that's a game based on a movie. It's probably garbage." So
except for Shrek 2. Shrek 2.
I remember that. Every year, if I had good grades when summer happened, my mom would buy me a video game. And I saw Shrek 2 on the shelf, and I was like, I want that as the game for getting good grades. Worst choice of my life. That game was garbage, dude.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't like it.
Chris.
I did not like that game, dude. I played it for a few hours. I'm like, I want to take this back. And they're like, yeah, we'll give you $5 in credit. I'm like, I couldn't get into it, man. I do not like Shrek 2, the game, man.
Fair enough. You know, not everybody has to love a masterpiece. All right. Some people don't like Da Vinci.
That's a big gap going from Shrek to the game.
Perfection. No,
Pinnacle of human civilization.
Exactly.
I want to see what would happen in the Shrek universe if a zombie outbreak happened with all the fairy tale creatures.
Well, they already have like that weird Shrek is life thing with the Left 4 Dead characters.
Yes, with that, and that's a doozy of a video, man.
Yeah. that messed me up for a couple days.
You ever thought about starting a series like introducing zombies to a universe that doesn't have zombies?
I've actually been thinking about that because someone brought up the idea. I was just like, what if like Rick Grimes had to fight the Left 4 Dead infected? How would he fare? Or what if Coach was put in the Walking Dead universe, which technically he was in the Walking Dead universe because his voice actor was in there, but they turned him.
He died in the dumbest way, though. Oh my gosh!
My friend Cake stopped watching Walking Dead of how he died.
Yeah,
and I
stopped watching after that season.
It was just like, you have this tough ass dude. It's just like, oh, this little kid, I'm just gonna let him bite me. It's just like,
he like
you had to kill Chadwick Coleman like that? Really? He's a tough ass motherfucker in Left 4 Dead. You're gonna have him get killed by a kid? Shut the fuck up, Walking Dead. God damn. God, that pissed me off seeing that happen. Dumbest character death in cinematic history. I don't care what Game of Thrones has done. Walking Dead.
Yes.
Wait, the White Walkers in Game of Thrones. That's another one I didn't think about.
Never seen any of Game of Thrones, but I do need to. But considering what everyone said about the finale, I'm very discouraged from watching it.
Yeah.
No,
the
you
show
should
is
just
terrible.
cover the
Just
White
read the books.
Walkers. Forget about the ending. Of
Don't
the
even
the
do
show.
it that because the show ruins it too. So like if you do the book lore, you'll get an audience. There's a lot of people who like those books.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's always that book is better than movies crowd. Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, which I will admit, and I will get flack for this. I've never seen any of the Harry Potters, never seen a Lord of the Rings, never
What?
seen any of the Star Wars.
What? Oh man. Okay.
And
Out of
I
all
get
those, you
hate
gotta
for
do
that.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I agree.
That's
Lord of
what-
the Rings.
Yeah, my buddy Nick, he came with the complete edition, all the DVDs and everything. He's like, "You're gonna watch this," and it's been sitting on my shelf in the living room for about 6 months now. It's just like, well,
Okay, how
the
about
first thing I
this?
tell him is I already have plenty of addictions in my life. If you look at my room, it's got a bunch of unnecessary shit on the walls. It's because I get addicted to shit. Just like I don't need another
The
addiction.
books
in my life.
have zombies in it.
Yes,
I'm
but like I
just
said.
saying.
But I mean, if it's got zombies in it, I can eventually get to that. I can get behind it because I
Yeah,
know they've
they're
got a
called
little
barrel whites, so they're a little bit different, but they're reanimated bodies, so essentially
Yeah.
zombies.
Look at it as
But they-
as an investment, not
Exactly.
not an addiction.
It'll be an investment that turns into an addiction.
Let me see. What about a zombie movie based on Wall Street? Like all the.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Like all the stockbrokers, all of a sudden there's like this disease ramping through Wall Street. Whoops.
Like the dollar flu from the Division.
Yeah.
exactly.
There you go.
I covered that a while back too. I could see something like that working out.
Let me see.
Have
Okay.
the stock crash.
Yeah, so I know it's technically cheating, and I know they're making a show on Halo at some point, maybe. But I would like just, again, like a horror show on the Flood, and that's it. Like, just from the perspective of like a citizen or like just a normal Marine or something. And I just feel like that's ripe for the taking. It would be so scary.
Yes, it definitely would because I mean, I feel like they could. I want movies to go back to doing practical effects, which I know it's not going to happen. But if they did do something like The Flood, I would want them to do practical effects like they did in the 1980 version of The Thing.
Yes.
That's what The Flood would do to people is make some things type shit like that happen, and it would be awesome.
Yeah, like with the spider head, like have that be
Mhm.
like the arm that you
Yes.
slash with. Perfect.
I could definitely see something like that going on. That would be a great movie. But I feel like it would just plow through it so quickly, though. It's hard to adapt to The Flood to make it cinematic when they can just tear up shit so easily.
Right. Trying to think. I would love to see Dead Rising 1, the actual game, turned into a movie because that
Instead of having a
plot
spin-off.
line, yeah, that plot line with the government conspiracy and the wasps and the cure and all that, it was like so far fetched by the end of it. I was like, man, this is out there. Like Capcom really had a doozy of a plot line with
Exactly.
with this game.
Yeah, and the fact that it was just the wasps and it got into, I think it was like it was a Mexican city or something, and the guy wanted to get revenge,
Yeah.
so he started getting the wasp and he went into Willamette and started
Carlito.
unleashing there. Carlito, yes, and
Yeah.
his sister.
And his sister ended up falling for Santa Cabeza, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Santa Cabeza.
Yeah, and the sister falls for Frank West.
hmm
Completely out, like no way in the world that it would ever happen in the real life. But
I remember my 14-year-old self when I first saw her, so I was like, man, the graphics back then, you're like, holy shit. Just like, you're looking at her, you're like, damn. I would rock those polygons.
That's awesome.
But yeah, she ends up helping Frank because it got way out of control, and Carlito had no idea how to stop it. That would be actually a pretty good movie. Although the setting in the mall has been overdone with zombies at this point.
hmm Dawn of the Dead, 1974, setting that up, but everyone started doing it since then.
Mhm.
But the whole thing with the mall is I understand why it's such a focal point, because the original purpose of the zombies were it's a commentary on how we're all zombies because we're mindless consumers and whatnot. So I understand why the mall is so perfect for a setting like that.
But I did
I
read
don't think like modern zombie movies do not have any commentary. They're just like, how do we kill enough people and make it look cool?
Exactly, because That's how I felt because Train to Busan was a good commentary on stuff like that because I made a whole video on that.
Mhm.
But they made a sequel to it called Peninsula. I haven't seen it yet, but from what people told me, it's just another boring CGI action Tokyo Drift thing. And it's just like, that's a perfect example of having purpose in a film versus this will look great in the trailer.
Yeah.
It's just like, people lose the essence of what it is because, I mean, zombies, they're everywhere now. I mean, back in the late 2000s, that's all it was. Video games, Walking Dead popularized that's all. Movies were trying that. Zombieland.
Yeah, I remember
Zombieland.
Angry Joe would have that skit. It's like, you want to play another zombie game? It's like a whole skit, just like holding up different games.
Yep, exactly.
Now, on a side note, what I would love to see is just a straight up Call of Duty Zombies game, and that's it. The whole game is Call of Duty Zombies, and it includes everything.
I wouldn't mind that because I love zombie games, but like I said in the other podcast, I could never get into Call of Duty Zombies just because it's just this endless wave format. But if they had like a structure where it's not focused on you got to do this Easter egg, or I like a point A to point B thing or a story, I would love that. If they did that, I would get right into the Call of Duty Zombies formula and actually start playing. So I'd be behind that 100%.
There's actually a continuous storyline across the maps, but it has nothing to do with the waves of zombies you're killing.
No.
Exactly.
Well,
you have to like dig and whatnot.
The first game that had zombies, was it Black Ops 1?
Yeah.
No,
no,
that
World
was-
at War. World at
World
War.
of War, yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
the first time I played it was Black Ops 1. And I couldn't even get past the first room. I was so confused. So like I kept killing zombies. I got to like these demon dogs that would like just wreck me. And I could not. I just had no idea. So I stopped playing.
I will say Black Ops 1 had something great with its zombies, and it was bringing George A. Romero in as the director.
Mhm.
I played the hell out of that just because I was like, they got fucking George A. Romero, the godfather of zombies, to be the godfather of zombies, where he had the light, I can't remember what it's called for the life of me, stage light, and he was swinging it like Thor's hammer. That was such good fan service for zombie fanatics. I loved it. But again, it doesn't fit with the story. It was just mindless fun, and that's what you need sometimes, is some mindless fun.
That's like one of the best co-op game modes ever invented, honestly. But
Oh yeah, it's fun to play with friends, but I would never play it by myself.
right. But I would love to see a movie adapted from that, actually, kind of. If they
Yeah,
could
definitely.
have the continuous storyline actually built into a movie that I could watch, it'd probably make me get me ready, motivate me ready. I can't talk right now. It would motivate me to play the games again.
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, they've gone into the whole multiple universes thing. They pulled the Doctor Strange and the Avengers thing. It's like, it feel like it's easier to write movies that way since they have the multiple universes. So I think they could easily do that if they really wanted to. And plus, I mean, movies based on video games are happening so frequently now. Well, more frequently than it used to be, because we had the Mario Brothers movie, which I personally love it. But
It was-
I know a lot of people don't.
When I realized that it was supposed to be the actual Mario Brothers from the game, I liked it less. But as a kid, I was like, this is wacky weirdness, and I like it.
Yeah, if you just look at it as something just cheesy to laugh at, it's great. But the fact that it was based on Mario, and they were trying to bank off Jurassic Park because it came out the same month as Jurassic Park, so it's no wonder it tanked.
So Will,
But-
you came up with this top. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were done. I cut you off.
Oh, it's all
again.
good, man. I'm just saying, like, movies that are based on games recently, like, or not. I mean, we have that new Monster Hunter coming out with Mila Jovovich, which the first trailer looked like generic. We're turning this into a Dragon Ball Evolution type movie. But the second trailer actually gave it some justice. And then we had the series on Netflix based on The Witcher, which I haven't seen it, but everyone gave it great praise. So we're on that. We're on that.
That's
Hold
based
on.
more on the books, though, so it's not really based off the games.
I know,
Will
but
has a
most
criticism.
people wouldn't say that.
Will has
so
a
my
criticism
for
about The
the
Witcher.
show is
Okay.
that there's a ridiculous amount of boobs in that show.
That's a bad. thing.
More, yeah. Well, it's like it's one of those things. Like maybe I'm a prude, but like if I wanted to see that, I would be looking at a different type of medium. I like getting through shows, and I don't want to have to skip through every single scene.
Dude, I started rewatching it. I still don't see what you're talking about.
You're clearly just numb to it, Chris, because there's an entire episode where Yennefer is naked the
You
entire
watched
freaking
all
episode,
of Game of
going
Thrones,
like this,
and you have a problem
Yeah,
with
I
The
was about to say,
Witcher?
if Game of Thrones is up there on the
Yeah,
nudity.
Game of Thrones will have a scene in the beginning of the show, and then the rest of the episode is fine. Freaking The Witcher, Yennefer is naked the entire freaking episode.
No.
And she just does
Did
everything
you finish
naked.
the show or not?
I've gotten to the point where I'm uncomfortably close with that actress.
I don't
Anyway,
know what show you were watching, but clearly it was not The Witcher on Netflix.
It's The Witcher.
Yeah, we've had this debate many times. This is like something
Yeah.
I've even had to rewatch the show because I don't believe Will, and I still don't believe him.
No, you were watching me like, yeah, you liked it.
Bare boobs, I'm good with it.
All right, let's see here.
But I can't put it on YouTube though. That's the only thing I don't like about them.
Ooh, I want a Zombieland video game.
There is a Zombieland game.
Is there?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yes.
Did I miss
Double
this?
Double Tap. I saw it,
Yeah, okay.
and I was like, "You're charging $40 for a top-down shooter where you have to point to shoot? Hell no, hell no! Not even gonna look at gameplay footage of it because I know it's gonna be garbage."
Oh.
But I looked at gameplay and it looks bad.
Oh god.
Mhm.
There's a Dead Rising game mode like this in Dead Rising. No, Zombies. Call of Duty Zombies. There's a game mode like this almost.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, where you go to the arcade.
Yeah.
Dead Ops arcade. That's
Dead
what it
Ops.
is.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun for a little bit, but it's not something I would spend $40 on. Like
No.
what happened with Zombieland there.
No, I want like a Dead Rising engine version of Zombieland. That's what I want. Okay.
Hell yeah, that would be great.
So this conversation has really made me realize just how many zombie games and movies and properties there are. Like, why do you think this is kind of a deep question, but why? What does people's fascination with zombies come from?
Well, the definite thing with zombies. So think of all the horror movies. When you go against like these horrific entities, like you have Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, or stuff that scared me as a kid, Gremlins or Chucky.
Yep.
Which I mean, they're not that intimidating because you could just field goal those little bastards across the field, but it still scares you. But when it comes to zombies, those are other people that have reanimated and become these entities, but there's still that person in your mind. There's still that person, and so to yourself that if you only get bitten, you'll become one of those. There's a whole different level of horror to that, I think, to the general populace versus, oh, if this guy gets you, you're dead, boom, done. But with zombies, you get bitten, you become one of those, you become a threat to the others around you versus just being a dead body on the ground.
Mhm.
So it's this whole nother level of, oh shit, we're screwed if anything happens with this. There's a whole nother level of beyond death.
Mhm.
And so I think that's why people like the zombies so much, because it's just another level of it that would just go beyond other horror genres. That's why I like it. And there's like the whole, like we were talking about earlier, the commentary of what happens after death. That's another thing we can get all philosophical about, like what happens to your brain after death and all that. But zombies are just another field and medium, and I think that's what people got so obsessed over. It's just another human being that we're afraid of.
Yeah, I think the beginning of season 1 of The Walking Dead, when he's in the house with I can't remember the guy's name, and his wife's Morgan. That's right, and his wife's outside. I think that really overall that explains the medium really well, because like he wouldn't kill his wife, but he knows that she will kill him if she gets in the house.
Yeah, and she ends up killing his kid, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
that's how Morgan's kid dies, because he didn't shoot her, and she eventually showed up, and they both froze, and the kid died because he bit her, or she bit him.
Right.
So that's the thing.
The
It's
human
just like
bit the zombie.
if you bite a zombie, does the zombie become a human?
Yeah, exactly.
Warm
Well,
bodies.
actually, I mean, I guess that gets into this, like, where does the defining line of a zombie, like, can you consider a vampire a zombie?
Well, for me, zombies are these dead, or they're dead, but they're like animalistic. And so there's the whole thing with my channel. That's what I should have brought up on the other podcast. I'll bring it up now. Is a comment that comes up a lot: zombies and infected. What's the difference? Zombies are dead, reanimated corpses that come back to life, feed on the flesh of the living, but they really don't need their internal organs. Whereas infected, like 28 days later, they're still living. They still need to eat, breathe, drink, and all that, and eventually will die off. But zombies as a whole, they're a lot different. Vampires, they're their own entity because I don't see anybody walking around sparkling and fighting off werewolves to go after a girl that barely has any emotions in her face. But then there's Dead Bodies, that movie, so that's a whole nother thing.
You mean Warm Bodies?
Warm Bodies.
Yeah.
Got that wrong. So I mean, that's the fan fiction corner of all those horrific things. So put those to the side. Put them in the room where they can just write their fan fiction. Don't discuss that.
I guess the last one. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying, yeah, vampires to me, it's just they're a whole different entity outside of zombies.
Okay, I got. There was one more thing that I was gonna bring up, and I think I've lost my train of thought here. So I'm
I have
totally
a random
derailing
question.
it.
Sure.
So obviously, the I Am Legend book, the vampires. In
That's
the book.
exactly what I was gonna bring
movie,
up.
would you consider those vampires, or are those infected?
So yeah, I've been debating on doing an I Am Legend video for a while because I've watched the original I Am Legend movie a long time ago. And those are vampires, but with how culture's been, because with George A. Romero, he based his 1964 movie Night of the Living Dead, which is the OG zombie movie. That's where the whole idea of zombies in our culture has stemmed from, is his idea of it. Because the original zombie idea was just mindless worker, dead slaves that would work and just do a thing ad nauseum because of a voodoo curse. But once his movie came out, it was all about eating the flesh of the living. He watched I Am Legend, the original, and read it. Not the original, but he read I Am Legend, and he based it on that. And so he turned it into like this ghouls thing. But so it was originally vampires. He turned it into a zombie thing for Night of the Living Dead. And then we got Will Smith's I Am Legend. I think that's what you guys are basing it on, right? Is the most recent one.
Yeah.
I think it's a hybrid of infection and vampire. I think it's an infection that has ideas of the vampire, but it's definitely infected.
Okay.
Because to me, vampires are more mythological versus just infected, which is more based in like people mutating into this certain being.
All right. I guess going along those lines, how do you feel about the Strain books or the Strain show?
The books of the Strain show?
Yeah, no, the books. It's the series is called The Strain.
Okay.
It's by oh man, I'm gonna kick myself for not remembering Guillermo del Toro. And he tried to make it more scientifically based. So like he gave a reason for why like silver will kill the vampires, but they're not the sparkly vampires. So like they get infected by these like worms essentially, and it changes their anatomy completely. So like their genitals will fall off, their mouth changes, so they have like a lancer that comes out and like sucks their blood. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's the thing I like when they actually give like genetic reasons. That's a whole nother step, is going to the Roanoke gaming territory where he gets into how the genetic makeup has changed and everything. I dabble into that stuff kind of with my Why You Wouldn't Survives. But I appreciate that because I just don't like when it's just like, oh, he bit him, it's a vampire, you get teeth and you want blood. It's just like I like it when they get in depth about it becoming like realistic. I like it when stuff actually has realistic stuff versus just, oh, that's just how it is. You get bit by a vampire, you're a vampire. So to me, vampires are a lot more mythological, like 30 Days a Night type stuff.
Yeah.
Versus, like what you're talking about with the strain. It's a mutation inside of you that changes everything.
I'm sorry. Nothing will ever be scarier than clowns. So when you have clown zombies, what you just had on your screen with the clowns, it's like, oh god.
Oh yeah, that's not actually a zombie. That's from a game called Dead by Daylight, and he's actually based on John Wayne Gacy.
No, I'm saying that when you have clowns.
Oh, okay.
And,
yes.
Oh god, that's just gonna leave me with nightmares for the next week or
like
two.
Zombieland.
Yeah, exactly. Like
I can see that. Yeah, yeah. The original It 1990, it gave me nightmares as a kid. So yeah, it's no wonder clowns aren't a popular thing at birthday parties for kids anymore.
Yeah. I don't know why they ever were. It's like, how did anyone think that was like appealing?
Well, they were comical, but I think it was It 1990 that it changed everything. I heard that like the clown industry business for birthday parties got hit like so bad, like it went down like 80% after that. Like nobody was hiring clowns, and it's just gone deeper and steeper. I think they tried to like sue and stuff. There was this whole controversy. It's just like, I'm out of a job because of this damn movie of Tim Curry dancing around, just going, nah, nah, nah. So it definitely had an impact, but I think it just takes one or two movies that could just change the opinion of something like that. Because clowns have been around for like what, hundreds of years, just doing their own
very long
thing.
time.
Basically, the evolution of the court jester.
Mhm.
Yep, exactly. So they were fine until it came out, and then everything changed.
Over
And then
2,000 years
John
of
went
clowns, and we lose
Exactly.
clowns to the one movie.
To Tim Curry.
I guess that's probably a good spot to end this thing, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, not clowning around, baby.
Well, thank you for being on this. I'll
Yes.
thank you again in case I turned into a robot the last podcast. I don't know, but
Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto.
but as always, I'm Chris,
Well,
And I'm Wow.
and we will see you
next CHRILLCAST. Bye, guys.